making Canada as the 51st state of America, and this is all over the news right now. Whether Canada, how would he make Canada, become the 51st state? And he was asked whether he would use military force to invade Canada, to which Trump said that he would only use economic force. And interests, Canadian policymakers, the government of Canada. I mean, lots of Canadian ministers have come out and said that political party, everyone in each political party has said that, this will never happen. Trudeau. Hey everybody, welcome back to Canadian Sea on my YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. There's a lot happening in Canada right now. If you're a Canadian resident, if you follow Canada like I do, because I live in Canada, Canadian politics is never boring, and there's talk about Trump making Canada as the 51st state of America, and this is all over the news right now. So I thought, let me make a video about it, and let's talk about this and see, what's going on. So hang in there. Don't go anywhere. We will get to the bottom of whether Canada will become the 51st state of America or not, and what are the implications of this announcement that Trump made. So very recently, Trump was asked in an interview whether Canada, how would he make Canada become the 51st state? And he was asked whether he would use military force to invade Canada, to which Trump said that he would only use economic force. And this is people have been talking about this, and the logistics of Canada becoming the 51st state are there's tremendous amount of legal, regulatory change that would need to happen for this to even become a reality. But people are thinking, why is Trump intent on keeping saying this, and what's going on in his mind? Now, according to this National Post article right here, what we are faced with is that since both of these countries have their own constitution in place, they have their own rules in place. It's a very unlikely scenario. I mean, the U.S. is definitely not going to use military force. Now they're talking about using economic force. So here's the thing. I mean, even if they do use tariffs, I mean, there's a lot of ramifications for the U.S. industries as well. Did you know that the U.S. imports, a lot of natural gas, oil from Canada? And if it decides to import, if it decides to impose tariffs on that, I mean, it could affect, it affects the U.S. as well. And it's really funny. I mean, Trump doubled down on this, right? Back in December, he said, everyone thought it was a joke when he said that let Canada become the 51st state, but he released, a post on his Truth Social platform on January the 6th, just a few days ago, that many people in Canada love, quote, many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits. Trudeau knew this and he resigned, quote unquote. According to Trump, he can see the weakness in Canada right now. He can see that Trudeau's resignation is the right time for him to make these kinds of statements, to put more pressure on Canada to do what they want. And it's this going back and forth is also affecting Canadian interests, Canadian policymakers, the government of Canada. I mean, lots of Canadian ministers have come out and said that political party, everyone in each political party has said that, this will never happen. Trudeau recently responded saying that, this cannot happen, that this will not happen. That's what Trudeau said as well. And there's there's no chance of this happening, no chance of Canada becoming the 51st state. So everyone is talking about this, and it's really interesting, the fact that it has come down to this, right? It's really, really interesting. So if it happens, there's a couple of ways that this could happen. Hypothetically, if Canada becomes a 51st state, how could this happen? The legal path is, you're talking about Canada as a whole. If they want to join the United States, they would have to go through Section 41 of the Constitution Act, which means that consent would have to be given for the departure of Canada from a particular jurisdiction and the legislatures of all 10 provinces, and that is a highly unlikely scenario. Now, even if these 10 provinces all agree and say, yes, there must be admission into the United States, and that is a completely separate process because that's based on Article 4, Section 3 of the US Constitution, which essentially says that even by a simple vote of the US Congress, any new territory could be incorporated into the US and it can become states. And this is what happened with Hawaii, right? This is what happened with Hawaii in 1959. Now, even before the United States gets to this point where they can absorb Canada, they should deal with 2 or 3 jurisdictions that are ahead of us, and one of them is the District of Columbia. So the U.S. already has to deal with the District of Columbia, and then there's also Puerto Rico. So again, it's very unlikely, for this to happen, right? It's very unlikely. The second possibility, according to this National Post article, is by purchase. So a lot of the American states were purchased, if you don't know about that. That's what happened with the Louisiana Purchase, and that's how states on the western side of the Mississippi state became territories of the United States, and they eventually became, part of the U.S. territory. So I don't think the U.S. Treasury, and Trump has already said that he would like to acquire, Greenland, but this is highly unlikely. The U.S. Treasury, it's how are they going to even buy Canada? I mean, nobody owns Canada except Canada. So Canada's not up for sale. And, how would they even come up to a pricing point for Canada? What would be that pricing point? I don't think that's going to happen. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Could this even happen? Could Canada get purchased by the United States? I don't think so. And the third option is invasion. I don't think invasion is going to happen. Trump has made that clear. It's not going to happen. So there you go. That's my take on can Canada become the 51st state of America? I don't think that's going to happen. But again, we are living in interesting times. What are your thoughts on this whole issue? Can Canada become the 51st state of the United States? I'm laughing because I don't think this, I think that the U.S. and Canada dispute could be resolved in a bit of a better way if we address what Trump is saying, close down make sure the border is secure, close down the fentanyl trade, take care of those things, and this thing goes away, because logistically speaking, this cannot happen. And I, as a Canadian, would like Canada to remain sovereign. I would like it to remain independent. The U.S. is a great neighbor. We love our American neighbors. We love them. We have a long-standing respect and relationship based on mutual interests with the U.S. Canada and the U.S. are, they're really close and friendly neighbors, and it will always stay that way. So let me know in the comments about your thoughts on this particular topic. But until next time, bye-bye from Canadian. See ya.